And hello, everyone. Happy first day of December to everyone, and welcome to today's show, Through the Static with Stephen the Medium. I'm just kidding. Get a grip with Coach Lex. I'm your host, Coach Lex, and with me, my amazing co-host,
Frank Tallahassee.
Stephen the Medium, my amazing husband. And I say Through the Static because, there was a plan to have Stephen's show, but we made some changes because we've realized that over the next couple of weeks, we will be traveling. So I'm doing my show today. When we come back the week of the 22nd, I'll do another show, and then Stephen will finish December with his show as scheduled.
What? I'm not doing my show? I was already.
Yeah.
Bring in the spirit, baby.
Well, the spirit's always here. So, Stephen, it's the first day of December. December is here. I am excited. I am overwhelmed. I am feeling so many emotions, Stephen. And that's really what today's show is all about. How do you think? How do you feel about December 1st?
Well, I mean, coming in, and people that listen to us and know me know that I am in my element because the colder, the more snow, the more winter, the more happy Stephen Frederick is. I just love the winter. And the holidays are here, so I love it. But I will tell you that I'm very impressed with you because, in the fall, we were just talking about here and there just about the holidays coming up and how difficult it's going to be. I've been through it in 2020 when my mother passed away in February, so that holiday in 2020 was very difficult. But you've really stepped up, and the house is completely decorated. All the decorations they're done. So I think whether you know it or not, Alex, it's your mom just giving that big hug to you and saying that she wants to share in the Christmas spirit too. She's still here.
Yeah, and honestly, that's exactly what has happened for me. I realized that in order for me to cope with my grief, which is very real, very present for me every day, in particular the holidays, because last holiday my mom was here and there was no indication that she was sick and that she was going to pass, just short 4 months later, the end of March. So I've had this realization that I needed to embrace the holidays, and in doing so, that would help me grieve. So that's what I've done. That's what I've done. And by the way, I said to Stephen, so we've been decorating. The house looks really beautiful. And I said, we have how many trees, Stephen?
Well, as of right now, 11.
Up?
No, 10 up.
10 up, but that was my point. So we have 10 up. And then I said to Stephen, what's missing for me is we need to put one in the apartment that my mother lived. My mother lived in our in-law, which is part of the house. And something said to me, we just have to put one up. So I went to the store, I got another tree. This is a full tree, by the way. So we're going to be putting that up later. So we will have 11 trees.
I love that. One of there's so many memories. You and I were privileged for years because Consuelo lived with us even prior to, we've been in this house 3 years.
Yes.
Prior to this, in the Norton house, she lived with us, and that wasn't like a separate in-law apartment. That was just part of the house. So we've been, I feel privileged that I got to see her every day. And God only knows if I didn't go down there, if there was a day that I was really busy and I finally went down to the in-law apartment at 6 o'clock p.m. or something like that, your mother made sure I knew it. She would say to me, "Oh, who are you? Who are you?" Oh, yeah. Every single time. But I bought her. We were out in Falmouth in one of these really cute stores, and I bought her a glass, probably about 8 inches or so, glass Christmas tree. And the little glass ornaments come off, and you put them on every year. She put it up. But the fascinating thing about Consuelo and her creativity is she made little boxes, little presents that were in tune to the size of the tree, right?
Yes.
How these little packages that look like you went to, you go to a department store and they wrap it for you and it looks perfect. That's how these little boxes are.
But so they're miniature.
Yeah, little ones.
Yes.
Yeah, they look proportional to the tree, which is like 7 inches. So imagine these little presents are so tiny, and she put them under the tree. It was the best.
Yeah, no, it's So I feel that part. It makes me feel. I don't know. For some reason, it's allowing me to cope with her absence a lot better. But there's a lot more going on, Stephen. You have a major event coming on tomorrow, so tell people about it, because I think there's only very few tickets left. So anyone in the local area, go ahead, tell them.
Well, before I do say that, I just have to say something quickly about you. In this process of grieving and what's going on is that and I know you feel this and you know this, so do I, are very privileged to be so aware of spirit because you live with a medium, and by coming on my journey, you have expanded because you're very gifted, also very empathic, and you've expanded your gifts too. So, whether you realize it or not, that helps. It's a little part of you, a little piece of you, just realizing and knowing when it's a really difficult time, you're grieving, that your mom's still here. So,
you know what, Stephen? Oh my God, you just reminded me of something, and you're absolutely right. I'm actually experiencing the growth of myself and how I've learned to tune in, to pay attention to the signs. So the more you tune in, as you've taught me, the more you see signs, the clearer you see them. Today, Stephen, I had this call with, I coach fellows for the Sundance Festival. These are young filmmakers that are part of a fellowship program, and I've been doing that for the last 3 years. I've had two filmmakers that have been amazing. You've got to meet one of them, Francisca. We actually went to LA to see her Sundance film. And today, Stephen, I was introduced to my next fellow, who's also another woman from New York City. Her name is Flor, like a flower, right, in Spanish.
Right.
And so I'm just getting to know her, and she's a filmmaker. Of course, she's part of the Sundance Film Festival. She is talking, and Stephen, I kid you not, as she was talking, I saw, in my third eye, of course, as you've taught me, something like in front of, I just saw her giving an acceptance speech. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's about. But that was said, right, Stephen? About 15 minutes later, she told me that her current documentary is in the running for an Academy Award.
Oh my God.
And that they are now putting all the effort into getting votes so that it gets nominated for an Academy Award.
Wow.
How amazing is that?
Amazing.
I had no idea, by the way. I don't know. I know nothing about this filmmaker because it's an introduction call. And I was left like, holy cow, I cannot believe I saw that image in my head, her giving an acceptance speech.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really is amazing. And it just is it's the power of trusting ourselves, power of you trusting yourself. And the more you do that, and acknowledge signs, that the easier it is for you to get into people's frequencies that you may be interacting with, like with this woman. So you actually tied into her life, her frequency, and that frequency gives past, present, and future. So that's amazing, Alex.
I was blown away. So,
amazing.
anyways, so it speaks to what you were acknowledging me for, really being tuned in, very tuned in with spirit. But now let's talk about you. Because
yeah, can I please talk about me? I'm dying over here.
Mark, he doesn't often want to talk about himself, so let's give him a few minutes before commercial break, okay?
All right, so
I'm sure Mark is dying to add some commentary to
I think Mark's just going to take me off the show. So tomorrow at 11 a.m., I am doing an event at 426 Pond Street in Braintree. It is a fundraiser, which I'm so excited about, and it's a fundraiser for competitions for the high school teams, for costumes, and be able to go to these competitions, because it's just people, unless you have a child that is in, and maybe even studying in grammar school up at the high school, in some of these competitions, I'm sure all sports, but these particular competitions, so expensive. It's crazy how money you need because of the costumes and the competitions and the traveling. So I'm doing a fundraiser. I just said to you, I got a text from Meredith, who is my contact person. It's three sisters who are running this, which they did pretty much amazing. But she just said it's at 90 tickets sold so far for tomorrow. So it's going to be a really, really great event. The VIP tickets that we put out, they went first, so they're gone, but there are still tickets.
That is sold out, right?
Yeah, that's sold out. But there are some tickets. I think we're getting close to the end of how many tickets there are, because I think the goal was 100 people and we're at 90. And, this is what happens with events. The day before, everyone's like, oh, I forgot, I got to buy the tickets, which is a great thing. So if you're in the area or you want to take a drive tomorrow morning, it's called or labeled Mimosas with a Medium. So you get mimosas there. You get to chill, sit back, and just watch me deliver messages from your loved ones in spirit to you, which is amazing. So
how can people get tickets?
They can go through my social media. They can go to StephenTheMedium.com, and the link will be right there, and it will bring you to Eventbrite. Where the tickets are being sold.
Fabulous.
Yes.
So that could be an amazing present for you if you're local in the Massachusetts Braintree area. You want to support this fundraiser, and you get an opportunity to meet Stephen the Medium and get some messages as well. So
hey, wait a minute, they also get to meet you too.
Yeah, of course, they always get to meet me. I'm the security.
My bodyguard.
I'm the bodyguard.
Yes.
Oh God. So anyway, Stephen, there's a lot more that we got to talk about today's show. We're talking about the holidays, the cheer, the joy, the grief, and of course the
me.
plan. And of course, we're going to talk about Stephen the Medium. How could we not? So let's take a small commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. And if you want to join us, you can always call 508-222-1320. We'll be right back. And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Get Great with Coach Helix. I am your host, Coach Helix. With me, my amazing co-host,
Stephen the Medium is here.
Stephen the Medium. And today you get to have the two of us. It's December 1st, so how appropriate it is for us to be having a conversation about the holidays. It is the holiday season, and everyone's creativity is out with their holiday decorations, and Stephen and I are experts all about that. I'll talk a little bit more about what we've done in a few minutes. But apart from the holidays, December is also a month of planning. It's a month where we get to sort of look back at the year and really assess what we did well, our success for the year. And it's time also to reflect, and in particular for many people like myself who lost a significant loved one this past year. So it's a time to reflect and to also embrace grief during the season. So that said, Stephen, I'm really happy that we're having this conversation. I'm happy that you and I get to just be you and I today. But I want to make one point because I sort of forgot about this in our introduction. So you talked about how much you love winter.
Yes.
Because we're talking about being December 1st and how do you feel about that. And of course, I know the answer. He's like a little kid. It's like, yeah. He's been waiting for this for 365 days. So the other day, I don't know, I think it was Tuesday, I'm coming home from a client's and I'm driving and I'm almost home and I see one flake cross my windshield. And I said to myself, oh, I know without question that as soon as I get home, Stephen is going to be screaming that it's snowing. One flake, I'm telling you, no more, one flake. Sure enough, I mean, if I was a betting person, I would have won $1 million right there. And sure enough, I walked into the house, first thing, it's snowing, it's snowing. And he even went and took a video of the one flake. You can't even see the flake, but he was out there somewhere.
You can see it. You can definitely see it. I was very, very excited.
So yes, you could say that. But that's really what the season is all about, for you. So now, holiday season for many is about giving, right? It's about, and sometimes giving goes into a little crazy because, I think some people, we often sort of, not some people, I think we all often forget that giving it's not just about presents, right? And sometimes we lose sight of that. So today, Stephen, you know how I read this daily word every day?
Yes.
Listen to what today's word was or is. It says, the fastest way to receive is to give, because giving starts with the reciprocal action of receiving. We all receive according to how much we give. But this is the part that I love. Give the best of you every day, everywhere you go. Give a smile, give a thanks, give kindness, give love. Your giving should be a giving without an expectation of return, a giving for the sheer joy of simply giving. And I think that's what the holiday should be all about, Stephen. Giving for the sheer of joy of simply giving. Giving doesn't have to be monetary. Giving can be a hug. Giving can be love. Giving can be, a thank you, a smile. You know what I'm saying, Stephen?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, I teach that in my course, in one of my courses. I don't remember which one, but it's one of the things I will tell the students is how in the morning before you get out of bed, think or ask yourself this one question: how do you want to show up today? You want to show up the best version of yourself, whether it's the holidays or any day of the year, or do you want to show up not present? And that will determine how your day is going to be.
Mm-hmm. So I think that is a fabulous lesson to hold on to as we begin to navigate the holidays. And honestly, Stephen, I think, again, for me, perhaps because I'm embracing grief, I think my perspective has shifted for this holiday. And yes, I love giving, but I want to step into the giving for the sheer joy of simply giving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think coming from somebody who's been with you going on 31 years, that is just a continuous part of who you are, a very big part of who you are. That's what you do all the time, not just specifically for the holidays, but every day. That's really that's your makeup. You are a giver. That's exactly who you are. So, and it's something that I definitely have learned from you.
Well, so talking about giving, I know that you have something very special there's a couple of things that you are doing. So why don't you tell people about your book, tell people about your promotional gift this holiday?
I love that transition. That was so wait. Speaking of gifts, see you got so my book is coming out.
I don't know what we're gonna do, Mark.
My book, The Suicide Gift, is coming out 8 weeks from today, December 8th, and I am beaming. I'm excited. I'm just so psyched about this. This is something that honestly I never thought I was going to ever write a book, and so I decided. This is more than a year ago. Oh God, maybe 2 years ago. I started it, pulled away from it, and started it, pulled away from it. So finally, I got my act together. And I cannot believe the realization that a week from today, it's coming on. I just got an email today saying that I've got 2 more days to make edits, and then it's a closed deal. So whether you go on Ingram Stock or Amazon KDP to get it, you can pre-order the electronic version, the ebook now, and the print you can get December 8th. But a really exciting thing too is on Facebook, I created a private page called The Suicide Gift, and we have discussions about the book, and the group is just such a great group of people, and I have given out the PDF version of the book so that people can either read the full book or just sort of peruse it and give me feedback. And so far, I've been periodically showing Elix the feedback, and it's been again emotional because I still can't believe this happened, but the feedback has been so terrific. It's I think when you get into that vulnerable place, which this whole book is, it's an autobiography, so it's me, it's all about me and what I went through, the good and the bad and stuff that I never wanted to speak about. It's all in this book. So when you get to that vulnerable place, it's a place unlike any place. I think the feeling of just being so complete and happy and joyful and knowing that it could maybe possibly help somebody who's going to read it is very, very exciting. So that will be out December 8th. You can go to my website. There's some information on there, or you can go to Amazon KDP to get it. December 8th, you can pre-order as I mentioned, the ebook, or you can also go on right now also on Ingram Spots, both versions of print and the ebook. So that's really exciting. And I did that.
Stephen, hold on. Anyone listening wants to join that private Facebook group. How can they do that? What can they?
Yeah, sure. You just on Facebook. I mean, you have to have an account on Facebook, but you just type in the search bar The Suicide Gift, and then you just request to join. So
there's 3 questions that they need to answer.
Yes, and the great thing is what I did was I also opened it up for people that I've allowed in, so that if they've got friends, that they can actually ask them, and they can actually let their friends in too, which is really great. And it's already, I don't know, 50, 60 people in this group. So and I'm actually doing a live Monday night at 7. I did a live, was it Wednesday, I think? These days meshed together. In any case, it was a great thing. I talked about the book, and it was just a great group of people. And unless you join the group, you can't see what's going on in the group. So it's also a great thing. And I think the questions are really just about will you commit to reading the book or portions of the book? Will you commit to not sharing the content until December 8th? And will you commit to giving a review wherever you feel on December 8th? There's 3 questions. So.
Yeah, so if you're interested, go to Suicide Gift on Facebook on the search bar and request to join.
And I also have a promotion.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a promotion on my website that if you purchase $150 worth of gift cards or a gift card, that you get a $50 gift card back to you every $150. Now, that's a real good deal for gifts for yourself to be able to get a discount on a reading, because ultimately you're getting $50 back that you can use on a reading for somebody else or for yourself. So it doesn't get any better than that. So that's a holiday promotion. And I also just put up 2 courses that I'm starting in January 2024. So I'm doing the intermediate part 1 class and the advanced part 2 class. And those classes, they're via Zoom. They're pretty incredible. They're very interactive with me and the participants. So it's just a really great thing. And I'm telling you that when I started, so I did the intro, the intermediate 1, intermediate 2, advanced 1, and now I'm at advanced 2. And the majority of people that signed up for that introductory class are still with me, and I've signed up for the advanced part 2. It's amazing. I just feel so honored. And the last thing I was talking about, man, I don't like this. I really don't. But just, I know we have a break, but at any point, my first episode of Doc Echo's Paranormal Show T-Series on Amazon Prime is ready to come. It's at any point in the second. They already have one of the episodes that's out. Matthew is the producer, and it was amazing in the second episode, and I cannot wait for that to be out so people can go on Amazon Prime and see me in action.
And we've been waiting. So Matthew, Matthew has been a guest on our show twice. So listen to him in previous episodes. So we're hoping that he's going to get these done ASAP so we can watch episode number 2. So, Stephen, if anyone is interested in any of those opportunities, promotions, how do they find them?
Just go right to StephenTheMedium.com to purchase a gift card, to purchase a reading, whatever you like, a whisper in a note, anything you like.
Beautiful. So 150 minimum purchase, you get $50 gift card back. That's what I call win-win-win-win-win. So I think we have to stop talking about you, Stephen, because
Really?
yes, we need a commercial break. So let's take some commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue to talk about the holidays, the cheer, the joy, the grief, and everything else. We'll be right back. Day of your life, my life. And hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Happy 1st of December. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all of you. And now, as we start the December month. And so I'm your host. Welcome to Get Great with Coach Helix. I'm your host, Coach Helix, with me, my amazing co-host,
Stephen Frederick.
Stephen, the medium, amazing the house. And we've been talking about the holidays, the cheer, the joy, the grief, and traditions that come along with the holidays. So, Stephen, first thing first, because we were just talking to our producer, is I also want to talk about, of course, losing my mom last March 30th. And so this is the first time with a mom for the holidays, but I also want to acknowledge that our producer Mark lost Miss Ellie, his wonderful, amazing mom, not long ago. So Mark, this is also going to be your first holiday without Miss Ellie, and so you know that we are holding you, in our, I don't know, Stephen,
Prayers.
in our prayers, in our thoughts, and just everything. So because we love Miss Ellie and certainly love you, so we just wanted you to know that we're just also thinking of you during this holiday season. So that's it, Stephen. There's a lot of traditions. Holidays are really known for traditions. Do you have any specific traditions that you remember from being a young boy, Stephen, that you carry through through today?
How long is the show?
I should have known better because I know you're all about holding traditions, but keep it to maybe one or two of your
Oh, really?
favorite traditions.
I'll have to select. All right. So, well, I'm a tradition king, right?
That's why I asked.
Yes, it's always been something that I have really clung on to, traditions, and even when things change or people like my mom is no longer here, just keeping the traditions. One tradition is absolutely going to La Salette Shrine in the holidays. Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving night is when La Salette Shrine, which is in Elborough, Mass, like right around the corner from Mark and Miss Ellie, they light up the lights every Thanksgiving night, and it goes until New Year's Day, and it's those memories because my mother and family, my mom and her three sisters and my cousin and all of us, I think there were like 9 of us, for whatever reason on Thanksgiving we never ate dinner at home. Christmas was always at home. It would be around the 4 sisters. Thanksgiving, for whatever reason, I don't even know how it started, but we'd always go out somewhere. I mean, you don't understand this. So if you know me, you'll understand me. Then you understand my family. One Thanksgiving, we're at the horse races. We had Thanksgiving dinner at a racetrack. Yes, we did. And none of us, including the adults, were gamblers at all. So that's just something I just wanted to bring up. But in any case, every year Thanksgiving, no matter where we were for dinner, after dinner, we would head all of us to La Salette Shrine and walk around the big pond there, see the goldfish in the pond. There was back then it was a small gift shop. Now they've completely redid the gift shop. This year for the first time too, they completely revamped the museum, which has all the I don't even know if you know this, it's all the mangers, which is beautiful. They redid that. So this is going to be really exciting to go. So that's a tradition, a very, very big tradition. One of the biggest for the holidays, I think. And I've sort of, you've been brought into it.
Yeah, I don't have much of a choice. It's like yes or yes. So I've learned after 30 years, going to 31 years, I just learned to just go with the flow. But I love that tradition. I mean, I also love Christmas. And I think this is something that I love since I was a young kid. The one tradition that for me, and you know this, it was just one of the most beautiful traditions that I can, from my earliest memory as a kid, is celebrating Three Kings Day Promise in what we call El Campo in Puerto Rico, in the mountains. My grandparents had a farm in the mountains, and my grandmother, after the story goes as follows: after one of her children went to war, she made a promise that made a promise to the Three Kings, which is January 6th, by the way. That's a big tradition in Latin America. She made a promise to the Three Kings that if he came back alive, that she would honor them every single year. And she held on to that promise. And every year in the house in the campo, we would, the whole family, and my father had 13 brothers and sisters. So as you can imagine, we were a very large family filled with many cousins, many siblings, and extended family. So it was hundreds of people in the house. The immediate family, brothers and sisters, would all stay in the house because the house had like 10 rooms, I believe. And it was a celebration that I just I hold that very, and you are lucky enough, Stephen, to be able to go to the campo and celebrate with us.
Many years, and to meet your grandmother, yeah, many years.
Yeah, and sadly, my grandmother, who was the matriarch of our family on my father's side, after she passed, that tradition sort of like just went away, which is really sad. But for me, I think that how I carry that, Stephen, now is I love, I just love the feeling at home for the holidays.
Yeah.
That's why we love decorating the house. I don't really, honestly, Stephen, and you know this very well. If we just watch a movie and we're just looking at our trees, our 11 trees, I'm happy with that. I don't have to do anything else. We love hosting. We have people, coming over, but I'm just happy being here. I'm happy feeling the spirit of holidays here. And, as we talked about before, my mom lived with us, and she was just so happy to be here as well. So I think that for me, and by the way, Stephen, Sunday, we are going to, we're going to show you our house. We're going to give you a tour of our house for the holidays. So if you want to see what our 11 trees look like and the rest of the house, you want to tune in Sunday for Sundays with Steve at 7 p.m. on YouTube. We also go on Facebook, or you may want to subscribe to Stephen Medium's YouTube channel. Anything else you want to add about that, Steve?
No, that's going to be a fun night. But I will tell you, when you were just talking about like just wanting to be home this week, Elise was in the living room with the two boys, our two dogs, and it's the ritual. Talk about traditions every night. I make coffee, and then usually I make tea for you. And I was just about at the beginning stages of making coffee, and I had a kitchen TV on, and you didn't have the TV on yet in the living room. I think you were just sitting on your phone, and I saw coming up Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So Elix looked at me like he always does after 31 years. I came sliding the socks on from the kitchen into the living room, and he's looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And Rudolph's on. So I had Elix put the TV on in the living room and then pause it because I had finished making coffee and tea. And then when I was done, we sat down and we watched it because, as Elix said, I am 5 years old. I get very excited. But the best thing about that, and you're talking about memories, is that as we were sitting there and I sat with coffee, I gave Elix tea, he hit the play button, and we started watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And within a couple of minutes in, he very nonchalantly says, "I never watched this." Right?
I didn't. No.
It was I almost like dropped the coffee I was holding up. I looked at him like, "What?" And he never did. So, it was, oh my God, it was like I was watching it for the first time. It was the coolest thing. I've seen that, as most of us, a lot of us have, a million times, right? As a kid, I said, like, you had to be home before VCRs or, cable. They played on one night, one time a year. That's it. And if you missed it, you missed it. My brother always had a tape recorder when David put the tape recorder underneath the TV and tape the actual sound of it. But if you missed it, you missed it. And the fact that Elix tells me he's never watched the actual episode was, oh my God, what a memory, Elix.
And to be honest with you, Stephen, that just sitting there watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with you, with our boys, that to me is the essence of celebrating the holidays.
Yes.
I don't have to do anything else. I was just so present and I felt so content in that moment. And that to me is what this is, really what celebrating the holidays is all about for me. But you know what, Stephen, we do need to take our last break. And so let's do that. We're going to take a small commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue with a conversation about the holidays, the cheer, the joy, the grief, and the traditions. We'll be right back. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Get a Grip with Coach Lex. I'm your host, Coach Lex, with me, my amazing co-host,
Stephen the Medium.
Stephen Medium. Today, we're talking about the holidays, the cheer, the joy, the grief, and the traditions. Since today's December 1st, it's an appropriate conversation to be had. We're just talking about some of the traditions that we hold since being little children. Stephen talked about watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer recently, which I never watched. This was my first time watching it. And our producer, Mark, during the break said that for him, it's watching The Wizard of Oz. That's something that he did every year with his family. And I see that's a movie that gets played during the holidays as well, every year. So, Stephen, what other movies do you think we're going to be watching very soon?
Well, I mean, the one we watch every year, we started this, I don't know how many years ago, but White Christmas.
Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait. I just cannot wait to put on the fireplace and just put on the movie. And by the way, Stephen, every time I say, let's turn on the fireplace, it cringes because the boys and myself, we're snuggling and we feel warm and we feel toasty. And Stephen is like sweating bullets, getting rid of every layer, every possible layer, because he'd rather be, in the frozen land.
Well, you know what surprised me about that? The first time I said, the typical situation is at nighttime, if we're going to watch a movie and I'm picking it, there's pretty much a guarantee that Elix will be sleeping during most of it. 10 minutes in, because of the movies I pick. I love old movies, and that's what I'm drawn to. So Elix will fall asleep. So I told him White Christmas. I don't know if it's because of the holidays, but I was shocked that the first time we watched it, or he watched it with me, he stayed up the entire time, and I'm just thinking, this is like Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye and Vera Ellen, Rosemary Clooney. These are like old stars. I mean, it's the best movie, but that just sort of surprised me that how much you love it.
Well, because it's a holiday movie, and I love the holidays. I actually, believe it or not, I do. I love old things. That's why, don't judge people. I love watching the Lawrence Welk show because I just love. I don't know. There's something about old movies and old things that bring me back to that era, and I wish I could just go back and temporarily just to experience what that was like. So that is why. Now the other thing, Stephen, is as we think of the holidays, for me anyways, there's a couple of things that come to mind. Is one of them is acknowledging achievements, because again the holidays bring, part of the holidays is the end of the year, completing the year, and also just being present to the lessons that we've learned. So for you, Stephen, what are some of the achievements that you feel you want to acknowledge yourself for?
Well, as I mentioned earlier in the show, my book.
Yeah.
It's a really, really big achievement. Something that, again, as I mentioned too, that it still feels surreal. It just doesn't feel like it's actually happening. I think an achievement of being with you for going on 31 years. It's my biggest achievement. When you get the book, you'll see the dedication and who that is to. And
who is it? Who did you dedicate it to?
Someone from a long, long time ago that I just had this connection with. Now, you, of course, you. And within like 4 sentences, of the dedication. It's like a very, very quick dedication, but it's very concise. And the people that have so far read my book or reading my book have all sent me emails just about they were crying just reading the dedication, which is really, really cool. So that's another achievement. But that's the great thing. I love your question, Elitz, because you may immediately people may say, well, maybe I can think of 1 or 2, and then if you pull a list out and start writing your achievements, they just keep going and going, and it's a beautiful way to see such a different perspective of your life.
Yeah, and I think it's important. You and I have had this conversation very frequently because our humanness, we tend to to be drawn to what we haven't done, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't done this, I haven't done that. What I've done is not good enough. It's not big enough. It's not far enough. Whatever. And that dismisses all the things that we've done. And I think really focusing on that, it's really part of just getting the golden nuggets in your own life, those silver linings. Always, take a moment to acknowledge your achievements. It doesn't matter how big or how small. And again, that's what we often do. We want to accomplish something, but we don't quite accomplish what that is. But we do something that we've never done before in the process of accomplishing that. But we dismiss that because we haven't ultimately accomplished the end goal, versus acknowledging, well, we haven't really accomplished the end goal. It's still in progress. But because of that, look at what I've done. Look at what I've achieved so far, and really taking the opportunity to acknowledge that. I think that's really important. And honestly, Stephen, I think that also creates a space for all of us to be present, for all of us to embrace the joy of what this season it's all about. Really, because the holiday season shouldn't be about buying Christmas presents, going to the malls. I mean, if that's what it is for you, well, okay, fine. But I think it's about much more than that.
I agree. I mean, I love what people do in the traditions of buying something, because you want to make somebody happy. But I completely agree with you that it's so much bigger, and it's also it's very emotional, as you mentioned. I mean, like back in June or July, you said to me, this is going to be a very difficult holiday season because not having my mom. So it also has that stigma, right? That you didn't say right now it's so hard, even though obviously we're processing and grieving, and it is. But the focus is on the holidays. The holidays. It's just the emotions just get heightened, and it tends to make you think of those memories so much more, which makes you miss your loved ones so much more.
Yeah. And for me, Stephen, I'm going to start with the lessons. I think losing my mom unexpectedly, the way it happened, it helped me have better appreciation for being present, for really getting to understand that all we have is the moment, the now. That yesterday is a foregone conclusion, and tomorrow is not a promise to any of us. So all we have is right now, and we often miss the moment because we're just living in the story of what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow, versus being just present in the now. And I think that's my biggest lesson. Just focus on what I have right now and the beauty of what I have right now. And from an achievement perspective, I really feel that I never stop grinding, Stephen. Like I'm a fighter, and I have continued, in spite of many challenges, continue to grow my business and to keep expanding to the next level. So that's what I'm acknowledging for myself.
And I watch that. I've watched you come home one day and say, what do you think of me leaving my current job and starting my own business? And it started from there. It started from that one sentence. And for you to have grown this business to the extent that it is, I tell you that all the time, how proud you should be.
Yeah, and that was over 10 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, time flies. So if you're listening, I hope this conversation has been of value to you. I invite you to think about your own achievements. I invite you to think about your own lessons, and really invite you to embrace the now, the moment. And if you, like me and like my producer Mark, have suffered recent loss, this is also an invitation for you to give yourself some grace, embrace the grief, so that can create an opening for you to be present this holiday season for the ones who are here and around you, that need you and that want you, want to celebrate with you. And I think that's all I get for today, Steve. Anything else that you want to say before we close our show?
No, I think we've said it all. And if you want to find me, just go to StephenTheMedium.com or Stephen the Medium in social media, and you can see what I'm up to.
Beautiful. And if you want to find me, or if you want to follow me, go to Coach Elix. And don't forget, it's Sunday. Subscribe to Stephen the Medium YouTube channel, or if you're on Facebook, look us up at 7 p.m. We are going to give you a virtual tour of our holiday decorations at our home. So you don't want to miss that. And a reminder, we will not be here the following 2 weeks because we are traveling, but we'll be back with my show on the 22nd and the following week with Stephen's show. So make note of that. And with that said, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jim, and the entire staff of WARA. And I have a wonderful weekend, everyone.